not enough reliable diversity in staff. How or what changes do you plan to make?
I'm assuming that the statement is that there's just not enough diversity in the staff. However, there is in the student body. And when afforded the opportunity to hire, that's a great thing that you have to take a close look at. Because of my upbringing, I've had the opportunity in various countries to be the minority and feel what that feels like. I've been, quote, the ESL student growing up in foreign countries, so I know what that feels like. And so I've had those experiences to understand that if you have a significant minority population or significant populations of groups, they want to have connections with the staff that are working with them ultimately. And that doesn't mean you have to hire staff from those groups, but you have to have staff who are inclusive and willing to work with all of those groups. So working towards that, when you have opportunities to hire, which in a tight budget time you may not have a lot of those, you look to capitalize on those as you can.
I believe that's all the questions.
Yep. Anything else in the audience?
Okay. We've asked you a lot of questions, and so we're going to give you an opportunity if you have any questions for us.
Well, thank you. I do. And from the board, anyone can answer. So, or you can each answer. I've gathered from your questions again what some of the challenges are, but I would just like to hear directly from the board. What would you say, looking out for the next 1 year? What's the number one thing your new superintendent should be focused on? And then, over 5 years, is there a second thing, or does the one thing remain the same?
Anybody want to start?
I'll take a stab at it. So yeah, first of all, your presentation nails a lot of it. Hierarchically, we've got to address, and you said it very well, declining student enrollment, declining fund balance, the two sides of the same equation. But also you covered some fundamental things as well. The approach that you've got as far as safety and meeting with the city and reviewing that, we've got a good approach in place, but it's really good that you're working on that. So I think that you're in line with everything very well. We should note that in the midst of everything going on, you might not even be aware because it's public, but it's really just in the nascent stages to a certain extent that we've got a revitalization committee that's working on a lot of what you were alluding to, and it's pulled stakeholders from every area, parents, public, so that's something that's ongoing right now. So it would be important that you would be up to speed on that as well. So that would be one of the critical things, and because that is in parallel with what you're saying. So I think you're on par with it, but you need to be aware of that if you would be the candidate.
Thank you.
No?
Mind if I go?
That's fine.
On top of what Mr. Zorn has said, I agree that you've been on point to most of the things. I think a number one key thing to address is morale. Morale of employees, morale of students, morale of parents, morale of community members, and an assurance that this school district is going to revisit a vision, mission, and goals, and have a sense of direction and a plan, both budgetary, curriculum, and preparing our students for the 21st century.
I see that as the statement on the district website, educating students for the 21st century. So that's very appropriate. Thank you.
Well, you can have a logo and a slogan, but day-to-day operations may not reflect that. So that's, combined with morale, is something that you're going to have to jump right into.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Well, I would say, agreeing with all that's been said, I think a lot of the questions that we have asked have addressed some of the concerns that we have. I think one of the biggest things for someone coming in from the outside into a district is within the first year of building that trust factor. You don't know us and we don't know you, and so that is something that has to be a daily thing that takes place. So I think for a new superintendent coming in, I think building that trust is a big thing that will just be a day-by-day thing. that will take place. We obviously have to, for the sake of our students and our staff, we have to have a fund balance. We have to be able to live within our means. We have to right-size our district. And one thing that you did touch on that I appreciated was marketing our district. When we received our NCAA accreditation, one of the things that was pointed out to Taylor was the fact that we do a very poor job of marketing the great things that we have going on. And we do have a lot of great things going on, and sometimes we're our worst enemy. So I think we need somebody that's going to be a great, I'll use the term cheerleader, advocate for the district to come in and do that. And then the last thing I would say would be leadership. I think we need a strong leader, someone that's going to come in, know where they're going and what they're going to do, and lead us to where we need to go.
Thank you.
And we'd like that done in 3 months.
Just kidding. I'll add another slide. All right. Yeah, those are broad that I'm going to guess that not only are they priority for year 1, but they're priority for year 2, 3, and you just keep building.
I think they build on each other.
I do have another question about something or anything that may be on the upcoming May or November election. Are there any millage renewals or any bonds of any kind that are out there right now?
No.
So,
I will tell you this, though, in November, we do have an election, and 4 of us are up for re-election.
Okay.
So the new superintendent coming in could possibly have a turnover in their board,
Okay.
or not.
Or not. Okay. I think that's all I have at this time.
Okay. Any follow-up questions from the board? Everybody satisfied with your questions that you've asked tonight?
I have one, John, you might have already talked about it. If you were chosen, when would be the soonest you could probably start or come on board? I know you said something about graduation of...
My son graduates Memorial Day weekend, and so, however, there's probably a significant amount, going back to what Tom was talking about, and you all have touched on in many ways, probably a significant amount of visioning and strategic work going on. I would see opportunity between now and then to come down, if it's a Wednesday, Thursday workshop, come down and be available and be part of that discussion so that it wasn't just a cold start, hitting the ground running in early June. I know the posting said as soon as possible or before July 1. I would definitely, I'm looking at that June window as most realistic, but prior to that, coming down as much as I could.
Thank you.
Could you, in follow-up to that, could you see your district allowing you on a regular basis to come down a few days a week, every other week, or every week, a day or two, just
I
for
think
that transition?
I think with enough planning, yes. I would say yes. We are small, and so it's really just the 2 of us, myself and the K-12 principal. So, I do wear quite a few hats, but with enough communication and enough planning, that would probably be something we could work out.
And I respect that commitment, that you aren't going to just leave them high and dry
Right.
for a new initiative for yourselves. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for answering our questions tonight. If you would like to make a closing statement as we conclude the interview, this is your chance.
Well, thanks again for having me back. I enjoyed my first trip down, even though it took a full 6 hours with 12 inches of snow. Today was very nice. The 6-hour drive was 3.5, and I got here, actually early, so that was good. No, I appreciate being considered for the position. It's really exciting to me when I put that presentation together. I'm a planner. I'm an organizer. That's the way I think. I like building a team. I like getting the team fired up around a common sense of mission and purpose. And it sounds like the district is right for exactly that. You're working on that right now. You're working on revitalization, re-energizing the existing staff, really making those connections with the students you have and with the families you have, and marketing and working hard, you know, to put all those things, you know, out in the fore and really build. Those are things I've done. Those are things I get excited about, and would be really excited to carry that torch here for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.